What if a hidden message from the very heart of God was given to a simple, uneducated nun? A message so powerful it could redefine how we understand mercy itself. For centuries, the world has grappled with the idea of divine forgiveness, often seeing it as something distant, hard-earned, or even limited. But in the early 20th century, a young woman in Poland was chosen to unlock a secret, a profound truth about God's unfathomable love that he desperately wanted humanity to hear. Her name was Helena Kowalska, known to the world now as Saint Faustina. Her life, a tapestry of quiet devotion and astonishing mystical encounters, changed the face of Christian spirituality forever, introducing us to a boundless ocean of divine mercy that is still flowing into our lives today. Get ready, because her story isn't just history, it's an invitation. Imagine a world still reeling from war, a world where suffering and doubt were widespread. It was into this world that Helena Kowalska was born in 1905, one of 10 children, in a poor but deeply religious farming family in a small village in Poland. From her earliest days, even as a little girl, Helena felt a whisper in her soul, a deep yearning for something more than the everyday. It wasn't just a feeling, it was a connection, a sense of God being intimately present. She wasn't just playing games or going through the motions of prayer. She experienced what she later called interior light, moments where she felt Jesus revealing to her his immense desire to reach every human heart with his infinite mercy. This powerful call to God wasn't an easy path. She knew she wanted to give her whole life to him, to become a nun. But her family, struggling financially, didn't understand. They needed her to work and help support them. Young Helena worked as a housemaid, saving what little money she could, all while that inner voice, that divine pull, grew stronger. She even tried to ignore it once, at a dance, but a sudden vision of Jesus, suffering, asking, "How long shall I put up with you? And how long will you keep putting me off?" shocked her back to her path. It was a clear, undeniable sign. So, despite her family's opposition, she left home, carrying only the clothes on her back, determined to find a convent that would accept her. After being turned away from several, she finally found a home with the Congregation of the Sisters of Our Lady of Mercy in Warsaw in 1925. There, she took her vows and received her new name, Sister Maria Faustina. Life in the convent was not one of grand gestures or public acclaim. Sister Faustina lived a life of quiet simplicity, embracing the daily rhythm of humility, obedience, and prayer. She was often assigned to the kitchen, garden, or porter's lodge, humble tasks. To many, she appeared as just another ordinary nun. But beneath that unassuming exterior, her spiritual life was anything but ordinary. It was within the quiet walls of the convent that Jesus himself began to speak to her, not just in whispers, but in profound, vivid revelations. He chose this humble, uneducated young woman as his secretary, commissioning her with an extraordinary task: to write down his messages about divine mercy. And crucially, to spread this devotion throughout the entire world. Faustina poured these experiences, these conversations with the divine, into a series of notebooks that later became known as her diary, Divine Mercy in My Soul. This isn't just a collection of spiritual reflections. It's a direct, deeply personal record of her encounters with Jesus. In its pages, Faustina details the boundless depth of God's love, a love that doesn't just forgive, but actively seeks to embrace and heal. The diary emphasizes something so vital for all of us: the paramount importance of trusting in God's mercy, especially when we feel lost, broken, or in the midst of suffering. Told her, "Let no soul fear to draw near to me, even though its sins be as scarlet." Imagine that. No matter how far we feel we've strayed, his arms are open wide. Through Faustina, Jesus revealed specific ways he wanted this message of mercy to be shared and embraced. One of the most recognizable elements is the image of divine mercy. Jesus appeared to Faustina with rays of light streaming from his heart, one red, one pale, instructing her to have this image painted. With the inscription, "Jesus, I trust in you." He promised that souls who venerate this image would not perish. The red ray symbolizes the blood, which is the life of souls, and the pale ray stands for the water, which justifies souls. Together, they represent the outpouring of grace from his pierced heart. This image wasn't just a pretty picture. It was meant to be a visible reminder of his boundless compassion, a silent sermon to the world. Then there's the Feast of Divine Mercy. Jesus explicitly asked that a special feast day be established to be celebrated on the first Sunday after Easter, which is now known as the second Sunday of Easter. He made an astonishing promise. "On that day, the very depths of my tender mercy are open. I pour out a whole ocean of graces upon those souls who approach the fount of my mercy." The soul that will go to confession and receive Holy Communion shall obtain complete forgiveness of sins and punishment. Think about the enormity of that promise. A total reset, a clean slate offered to anyone who approaches him with trust on this special day. And how could people tap into this ocean of mercy? Jesus taught Faustina a powerful prayer, the Chaplet of Divine Mercy. He asked that it be recited daily, but especially at 3 p.m., the hour of great mercy, the hour he died on the cross. At 3 o'clock, implore my mercy, especially for sinners, and if only for a brief moment, immerse yourself in my passion. This simple prayer, offered on ordinary rosary beads, allows us to plead for mercy for ourselves and for the whole world, using the very sacrifice of Jesus as our appeal. But spreading such profound spiritual revelations was far from easy. Faustina's life, though blessed with divine encounters, was also marked by immense challenges. Her health began to deteriorate significantly. She was diagnosed with tuberculosis, a serious and often fatal illness in her time. Her suffering was intense, yet she saw it not as a curse, but as an opportunity. She united her pain with Christ's, offering it up for the salvation of souls, transforming her weakness into strength for others. "I know that through suffering, I shall be like Jesus," she wrote. Beyond her physical ailments, she faced an even greater trial: skepticism. Not everyone in the convent or the church leadership immediately understood or believed her claims of divine revelations. She was questioned, tested, and sometimes even dismissed. Imagine being chosen by God for such a mission, only to be met with doubt and misunderstanding from those around you. It took immense courage, humility, and unwavering faith for her to continue, to trust that Jesus' will would ultimately prevail. Even when her own confessors and superiors found her experiences hard to grasp. Her determination, her quiet perseverance in the face of these difficulties, truly made her a powerful instrument in God's hands. She didn't seek glory. She only sought to fulfill the mission given to her. The climax of her earthly journey in many ways wasn't a single dramatic event, but the profound realization that despite her fragile health and the immense resistance she faced, The message of divine mercy was beginning to take root. Even as her body weakened, her spirit grew stronger, and the seeds she planted through her diary and her prayers began to sprout. The true turning point was the unstoppable force of the message itself, proving its divine origin by touching hearts across Poland, and later, the world. It wasn't about her, but about the mercy she was called to reveal. Her very life became the living proof that God uses the weakest vessels to accomplish His greatest works. Saint Faustina Kowalska died at the tragically young age of 33 in 1938, just as the world was on the brink of another devastating war. She wasn't alive to see the full flowering of the devotion she initiated. In fact, for a time, her diary and the devotion faced official prohibitions due to misunderstandings and flawed translations. But the truth, like a river finding its way, could not be stopped. Her spiritual director, Father Michał Sopoćko, worked tirelessly to promote the message, and eventually, with the help of Pope John Paul II, another great Pole, the Divine Mercy devotion was officially approved and spread globally. Today, Saint Faustina stands as one of the Catholic Church's most pivotal figures. Canonized in 2000 by Pope John Paul II, she is now revered worldwide as the Apostle of Divine Mercy. Her diary has been translated into countless languages, touching millions of souls with its profound message of hope and God's boundless love. Her story reminds us that sanctity isn't just for the famous or the powerful, but for anyone who opens their heart to God's will, no matter how small or ordinary their life may seem. It reminds us that even in our modern world, filled with anxiety and doubt, there is an inexhaustible spring of mercy waiting for us, if only we learn to trust. If you found inspiration in St. Faustina's incredible journey, make sure to subscribe to discover more stories of faith and divine encounters.